I'm always thinking about ways how I can say what I'm trying to say without getting flagged. It's a very difficult thing for me to speak my mind about a lot of these stories or even just to read the details without having my videos demonetized. I'm going to just tell y'all that's a bit disheartening, but at the same time, my resolve comes from when we see people get maximum time in prison, get caught, we expose these stories, people share them. Every once in a while, the stories will go viral. We need your help. Make sure you share these stories in your true crime groups so we can get these type of stories out there in front of people and really, really start making progress with these things, okay? I'm going to just tell y'all this before I get too political or anything. I hate to see that our own worst enemy as black people is people that look just like us. When we're constantly pointing the finger at everybody else, it seems like the ones who are doing the worst things to us are people that look just like us. This story is a clear example of that. And don't think that I'm going to let the mother get away with it either, because I do have some thoughts and feelings about that. So before we get into the details, y'all might want to put your big girl panties on and your big boy drawers. Let's go. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And for those who understand, I'm just telling the truth. I am grateful. Not everybody sees it that way. I'm getting this story from AOL.com. It was simple. It was right to the point. So thank you for the article. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. New Orleans is one of my favorite places to visit, but I have to give y'all an L in that area in the BR. 3 suspects, and it's actually a total of 4, but 3 suspects were arrested, and the other one is wanted after a boy was killed in a targeted shooting in November. So that's the point that I need to reiterate, and that's a lot of what y'all need to know with this story. It was a targeted shooting. They shot up this car. The person in the car was the target, from what I understand. Children were hit. 1 boy died. 4 black men are going to be held responsible for committing this heinous act. And I actually have some theories. If y'all don't like theories, this might not be the video for you. If y'all just want to hear me read the news, this ain't a goddamn news station. You might want to go somewhere else. If y'all got thin skin, if you touch it, you'll probably bleed to death. This might not be the channel for you. For everybody else, Diellon Daniels, and they spelled his name Diellon Daniels. Why they spell his name that oddly is beyond me. But handsome young man right here. He was 8 years old, and he died from his injuries after a shooting on Swan Avenue on November the 27th. Police say a mother and her 5 children were hit by gunfire multiple times during the drive-by. And let me also say this. I heard somebody in a video say that she was pregnant and she just gave birth to another kid. Yes, I do think I need to say that again. Thank you, because I like to repeat myself. That's just what I do. Police say a mother and her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children. And I think that she was pregnant and just recently gave birth to a 6th child, if I understand correctly, but it might be 5 total with the newborn. But I think that she just gave birth to a 6th, because they said that as one son died, she gave birth to another. That's where I'm getting this from. Oh, Lord. Ashamanaya, I should have bought a Honda. We're going to talk about that picture. I covered up all the faces of the kids that are not deceased. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7. I think she got more kids than what they're claiming on here. So, an individual by the name of Yancey Gerald, 23 years old, was arrested Thursday, and Tremel Harris, 27 years old. Let me get them thugs pictures up on the screen. I got a lot of pictures of the baby boy. Let me see if I can get the thugs on the screen. I only got a couple pictures of them. Here we go. Tremel Harris, 27 years old, was arrested Friday. Both suspects were charged with 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder and 1 count each of first-degree murder, illegal use of weapons, or dangerous instrumentalities. Instrumentalities. When have you ever heard a word like that? Very, very rare. Where's the father's look? I want y'all to tell me. You said she has 8 children? That's what I thought. I want y'all to tell me why y'all believe that 4 men would target her. Because I have a lot of theories, but I'm going to touch on a couple of them. I have a couple theories. Both suspects were charged with 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder and 1 count each of first-degree murder, illegal use of a weapon, or dangerous instrumentalities and obstruction of justice. Kendrick Prophet, 22 years old. Let me see if I can go back for a second. There we go. So, Kendrick is the big-faced dude. Okay. He's 22 years old, was the first suspect arrested on December 10th. He was charged with 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder and 1 count each of first-degree murder, illegal use of a weapon, and obstruction of justice earlier this week. The East Baton Rouge District Attorney's Office said Prophet is being held without bond on all charges. A suspect by the name of Roger Parker, who's 19 years old, which is the guy over there on the far right-hand side of the screen, he remains at large, so hopefully they will catch him as well. All 4 suspects have ties to one of our violent street groups, and that it appears that they were trying to target another member of the violent street group. Let me say it again. All 4 suspects have ties to one of our violent street groups. Street gangs is what it sounds like. And that it appears that they were trying to target another member of the violent street group, Baton Rouge Police Chief Thomas Moore said on Friday. Arrest documents say video surveillance showed a dark-colored car involved in the shooting. Crime Stoppers tips led to the car's discovery in Gonzales, and I know where Gonzales is. I know where Gonzales, Louisiana is because there was a biker event that happened out there once. Now again, let's keep going. In Gonzales, Texas, or I said Texas, Louisiana, excuse me. Baton Rouge detectives worked with Gonzales police to execute a December 2nd search warrant at a home where the car was found. Investigators found Gerald's name on documents during a search of the car on December 3rd. Other suspects were identified after police obtained video surveillance on December 9th, showing the car on Winbourne Avenue before and after the shooting, arrest documents said. Anyone with information about the shooting or the whereabouts of the 2 wanted suspects is urged to call Crime Stoppers at 225-344-7867. Okay, let me make sure I got all of that. That is the end of that information. So here's the thing. They have a GoFundMe up for this young man. And I don't have a problem with GoFundMe. I want y'all to understand what my issue is with GoFundMe. Where's the GoFundMe at? Where is it at? Okay, I knew I wasn't tripping. There is a GoFundMe, so let me bring it up on the screen. And I want to show you guys something. This is the GoFundMe. They asked for a goal of $15,000. And they ended up raising more than their goal. And I'm okay with that. If you set a lower goal and people want to go above and beyond that, I actually prefer it to be that way rather than people asking for an inordinate amount of money. So she asked for $15,000. They raised $37,540 as of 3 days ago. And she gives a little bit of the story here. Let me see. Gun violence is thug violence, but it is what it is. Let me see. Continue to pray for my family as we lay Diellon to rest. The road will not be easy. Here we go. Jesus freaking Christ. Look at this. I am a single mother of 8 beautiful kids. So why the hell did the news say 5 kids when these son of a guns had to have known that the GoFundMe was out there? Why would you say 5 kids unless there was only 5 kids in the car and that was all you knew about? She herself is saying, I am a single mother, not a married mother, not in a relationship, single mother of 8 beautiful kids that I love and cherish until death. 8 kids. Can somebody please type in the hashtag, and I know this is going to hurt, hashtag babies for benefits. You cannot tell me there is a good reason to have that many children out of wedlock, number one, when you don't have a stable father in any of their lives when you refer to yourself as a single mom. Maybe to some of your kids, you might be a single mom, but to all of them, I find that hard to believe with 8 kids. I think that if you didn't do things right, at some point you would have gotten it right, especially if to the tune of getting pregnant 8 different damn times, unless you just like being pregnant. I don't understand that. It's not a good thing to have that many children, bringing that many children into this world with no stable environment. For at least 8 years, you have spent your life pregnant. That is excessive. Here's the thing also, when people talk about, well, Just Jay, it's her body, it's her choice. She can have as many kids as she wants. How many people believe that? You said, hold it in. I'm not going to hold it in. Nope. I got a lot to talk about. I got a whole lot to talk about. Her body, her choice. If that's the case, then why is it that it's her body, her choice, but we are supposed to be picking up the bill for her choices, her kids, her responsibilities, her household bills, her burial? Everybody follow me so far? Her body, her choice. But the public society has to take care of the bill for your kids, whether it be to the tune of Section 8, food stamps and housing, maybe car vouchers, but also potentially trying to attach child support to not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but 8 kids. What do you do for a living? Ladies and gentlemen, I know people who make $300,000 and $400,000, $100,000, $200,000 a year that have trouble taking care of one child. Let alone 2, let alone 3, let alone 4, let alone 5, and you add 3 more on top of that. I think every responsible parent should know after you have 1 kid, maybe even 2, if you just want to just throw a bonus one in there. I can speak on behalf of that, and I realized that me, after 2 kids, I said, whoa, Just Jay, whoa, Nelly, whoa. Do you think you can afford these damn kids? And you know what I had to say? I can't. I did, but I barely couldn't. I remember my life was almost ruined. My life was almost ruined when child support finally started to hit my check, when my baby mamas put child support on me. It's just a fact of life. But you know what I did? I said, I'm going to find a way to make it through this and do what I have to do as a man and as a father. But thank goodness that I am a man that actually tries to take care of his responsibilities. I don't do it perfect. I'm not great at what I do, But I'm at the point where my kids are basically almost grown. So I'm thankful to finally kind of be over that hump. And then we can get to the next part of life with them being adults. Okay? Now, let's also think about this. For those who don't know about the violence rate in Baton Rouge, it is high, right? It is very high. It hasn't really gotten any better. I know you guys heard about the murder capital of the world, New Orleans. Well, New Orleans and Baton Rouge really aren't that far from each other. I've been to both. And I'm going to tell you, it is not a thriving community. It is not like it's tall skyscrapers, big, beautiful houses. There's some. But I'm saying there's a lot of people that are struggling. And I would have to think that if you have 8 kids, most of your finances, if not all of your finances, are probably diverted into your kids and just barely scraping by however you're doing that. Here's another thing about incentivizing bad behavior. I think that if you have more kids, and there should be a cap, there should be a cap on how many kids you have when the help should stop, when child support should stop, when housing Section 8 food stamps should stop. If they say, you know what, you got 3 kids and we're going to cut you off like they do in China and Japan and stuff like that, they tell you could only have so many kids. And you know what? I think that's a good thing in order to make us more responsible, right? Take care of what you have first. 3 human beings is a lot to take care of. And if you're talking about being single, then where is your help coming from? And you would have had to have known if the first man wasn't there, if the second man wasn't there, if the third man wasn't there, if the fourth man wasn't there. What is the definition of insanity? If somebody can remind me, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Isn't that what they call insanity? So is it safe to say that maybe this mother is insane? And here's the thing. We haven't even got to the reason why they shot her in the first goddamn place. Here's my thing, what I was thinking at first. They're saying that this had to do with street gang involvement. Is it possible that she was a part of a gang, knowing the violent culture that exists in Louisiana in certain areas? Possibly. I don't put that past, especially seeing the amount of women that I know that are not only are in gangs, but they do drill music and they do this fight getting crunk and just murderous type music. Women have adopted that culture from black men. The violent culture, they've adopted that from black men, and you see a lot of women out here living that culture. I wouldn't put it past that it could just be that simple. They either were ops of each other, or maybe it was something that she did and they were mad, but that's not even why I think that they did this. Because for 4 men to throw away their lives, I would have to think this is a little more personal. I thought about this, with her having 8 kids. Do y'all think, some of y'all are saying it could be drug related? Now, I can see that. You know what? I might go with that because I was actually going to say I thought that these 4 men right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, I was going to say these might be her baby daddies. There's a possibility that each one of them could have had 2 kids by her and everybody just plugging the same chick. She giving it up and they plugging. But you actually bring up a very interesting point. You said selling. Let's talk about this selling. Because for a person to have that many kids and to dress that well, unless you are a freaking millionaire or a successful entrepreneur, which I'm not going to put it past her, I just don't think is likely. I want y'all to look at this. These are some of her kids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, not including the 8th child that she just gave birth to. And how were they dressed? The boys are dressed with the same outfits. I can tell y'all from being a father and a Jordan fanatic, those shoes are about $200 a piece just for the shoes, and that is if those shoes are authentic. But you know that black people don't like to wear nothing fake. I'm assuming that these shoes are real. Why am I bringing this up? Because this heifer had a goddamn GoFundMe up. That's why I'm bringing it up. For anybody, look, y'all don't believe me? Y'all don't believe she put up a GoFundMe? Let's bring that up again. Spending all this money on what you want, but won't spend the money on what you need. Hello. Message. She's asking for $15,000. I want to show y'all, and this is the GoFundMe that somebody put up on her behalf. Asking for $15,000, 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000, 200, 400 for those white shoes. They're about 200 also. Plus the outfits. That's about what, $3,000 in outfits? In one picture. She has a number of pictures on her Facebook page, and she spares no expense when it comes to making her kids dress very fancy. Why am I saying that? Because if you are destitute for funds, what you don't do is you don't spend money on the stuff that you want and neglect the things that you need. To have that many children, to live in a state that is known for having a high murder rate, and for even maybe for you to be participating in an illicit lifestyle, the least you should probably be doing is paying for the Gerber Life insurance program, and you should have had life insurance on you and all your kids. Now, do y'all think that with her spending $1,000 a month in outfits and Jordans for her kids, couldn't she at least have some insurance? You said so she didn't have insurance on the kids? Who does that? You said who does that? Well, I know a lot of black people that do that. I know y'all be like, well, why don't you get on the white people? White people do it too. Well, look, I'm not part of the white community. I've never been white. And I ain't never had a white girlfriend long enough to know what white people do. Because guess what? When I got me a white girlfriend, black people made sure, oh, yeah, we got to get her up out of here, man. We got to get her up out of here. I'm being facetious. But my point about that is if you got money enough to spend $1,000, which is a lot, for just pictures and outfits, school outfits, whatever it is, then how can you not afford life insurance? You want to know why I believe that she was able to have that type of money? Somebody in the chat said, no, what if she's a drug dealer? And guess what? For these 4 men to go that far out of their way to commit a murder on a mother and half of her kids, that sounds like a drug deal going bad, does it not? You know how they had them songs, or I ran off from the plug? They think that stuff is cute. Taking people's drugs, making the money, and then won't come give them the money back that they owe for those drugs in debt, drug debts. Yes. Drug dealers usually dress fancy and extraordinate and live in the hood. Is it possible that she could have been a drug dealer, a part of a gang, and this is what it was? She owed a debt and didn't pay it. I believe that's probably actually what happened, rather than 4 of her baby daddies just got mad and decided to take her off this earth for child support. But I digress. Here's the fair usage, and then we'll listen to the news videos. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. If you guys would do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. I wonder how many black people have already unsubscribed from my channel just from what I just said, because I'm speaking the truth. You might not like it, but it's the damn truth, right? Now, do me a favor and please hit that thumbs up and share this video so more people can see it. And let's make these stories go viral, or y'all tell me what really happened. What did she really die over?
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. First on News 2 at 6 o'clock, Baton Rouge police arrested 3 men for the murder of 8-year-old Diellon Daniels. Police say Daniels was one of 5 children in a car that Kendrick Prophet, Yancey Gerald Jr., Tramell Harris, and Roger Parker opened fire on last month. Parker remains at large at this hour. The investigative unit in Best Casserly with details on BRPD's extensive search for these suspects.
Sylvia, a couple hours after their press conference, U.S. Marshals took Tramell Harris into custody. This afternoon, Yancey Gerald Jr. made his first appearance in court, where Commissioner Corey Tozan decided to hold him without bond.
These 4 men have been or will be charged with the murder of 8-year-old Diellon Daniels and the attempted murder of 5 others.
They're all being charged with the same crime because we have enough evidence to show that they were all part of the crime.
Kendrick Prophet arrested Tuesday, and today Baton Rouge police announced Yancey Gerald Jr. and Tramell Harris have also been booked. But one suspect remains at large, 19-year-old Roger Parker.
I can confirm that in our attempts to effect arrest warrants, that 2 locations were hit by Baton Rouge Police Department SWAT, 8 locations by our Violent Criminal Apprehension Team, or VCAT, along with our partners with the U.S. Marshals Task Force, and 1 location with the assistance from Gonzales Police Department.
The WBRZ investigative unit was there on Thursday for one of those attempts to apprehend Harris. Half a dozen or so unmarked units swarming this auto shop off of Choctaw, coming up empty-handed and moving on to the next location. All 4 suspects have relatively minor and non-violent criminal histories. Police Chief T.J. Morse with a direct message to Rogers and Harris, which he made this morning before Harris was arrested.
To the suspects, you know we have already hit a dozen locations. We are not going to stop looking for you with our state and federal partners. Wherever you try to go, we will continue to look for you and we will find you.
And for anyone who may...
Well, today, an 8-year-old Diellon Daniels was laid to rest after he was killed in a drive-by shooting back in late November. News 2's Jordan Ponzio was at the funeral and has more.
A million times we will miss you. A million times we will cry.
Saturday, a child-sized casket was placed at the front of the church where 8-year-old Diellon Daniels laid after he was killed in a drive-by shooting in late November. Family and friends gathered wearing emerald green, the same color Diellon wore in his family Christmas photos before his passing. His grandmother, Erica Rayford, spoke at the service, sharing that his life was not in vain.
I asked you this morning, what are you going to do differently? See, I don't take this lightly when it comes to watching my baby lay in a casket. I don't take life for granted because this is the 3rd born that I'm watching with Cortland and the family. We share a lot together. There's a lot of things that I want to say that I won't say. There's a lot of things that I want to do, but I won't do.
Diellon, also known as Dill Pickle to his friends and family, was killed when over 20 bullets were shot into his mother's car on Swan Avenue. 2 of his siblings were injured and have since been released from the hospital. His neighbor, Miss Tanja, also spoke on all the memories she had with him and his siblings.
I'm just grateful for his life this morning, and my prayer is that his death did not be in vain. That it be a beginning of us as people, as colors, as young men, we stop killing each other. And I'm just grateful this morning for his life and being granted the opportunity to spend the time that I spent with him and his siblings and his cousins.
Jordan Ponzio, WBRZ News 2.
Kendrick Prophet, Yancey Gerald Jr., and Tramell Harris were arrested and charged with first-degree murder and 5 counts of attempted murder. Now there's still one more shooter out on the loose. That is 19-year-old Roger Parker. He's still on the run.
Good evening, friends. Greg Merriweather here with you. We start with a community reeling from a tragic...
Coming from Erica Rayford, the grandmother of Diellon Daniels, a boy who was recently the victim of a horrific shooting just outside a barbershop on Swan Avenue. He was only 8 years old. The family came together just days later and decided that they needed to honor Diellon in a special way.
We wanted to do something to still remember Diellon, and the siblings were saying it. We was just like, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to do it?
They decided on a balloon release. The color? Green.
Now, I done told y'all, stop doing them balloon releases. You are hurting the environment, you're trashing the environment, and those balloons are not going to heaven. They're going to float down, they're going to pop, and animals are going to eat them. It's going to kill animals. It's stupid. And even certain states, they have laws about doing balloon releases. Do candles, do something else, but stop doing balloons.
For Diellon, known to those closest to him as Dill Pickle. With all of the support from the many community members, Erica was taken back.
It was overwhelming.
Rayford expressed on behalf of herself and the rest of the family that the support they have received recently has been so important in continuing to move forward.
It makes a lot of difference, especially to us, to the family, knowing and seeing that from law enforcement all the way down to the youngest child coming out to support.
Among the youngest children in attendance were Dillon's siblings, all of them still feeling the mental wounds, and for some, the physical wounds of the incident they suffered alongside their brother. They say they'll miss their best friend. One of his brother's favorite memories? Play fighting.
Play fight.
Was he a better fighter than you were? Ethan Tuttle, WAFB 9 News.
As for the investigation into the shooting, police are still asking any...
Y'all see all that trash that's going into the atmosphere? Look at that. It's just going to go up there. It's going to pop it. It's going to come right down. It's just going to be trash everywhere. Killing wildlife just for no freaking reason.
We're learning more about that deadly drive-by shooting that took the life of an 8-year-old boy and wounded 2 of his siblings. It happened on Swan Avenue in front of a barber shop at the edge of Southern University's campus. News 2's Destiny Beasley describes what he saw.
A day typically filled with Thanksgiving preparations turned into a nightmare for a Baton Rouge family. I spoke with the barber who did everything he could to help the children who ran into his shop bleeding and terrified in the aftermath of the shooting.
Can't really see it, but they still got shots like in the side of the building, like that's right where we be standing at.
Detectives spent Thanksgiving morning canvassing the Scotlandville neighborhood, looking for clues in the shooting that took the life of 8-year-old Diellon Daniels.
Correct, they'll never look at this time the same again.
Baton Rouge police say around 2:20 Wednesday afternoon, Cortland Daniels was driving a Honda Accord with 5 of her children inside when...
And shout out to Tanea for calling us out. Tanea said, how can you have that many kids and be in a Honda Accord? I own a Honda Accord. I even owned one when I was in high school. It seats at best, 5 people? 6, 7, 8. So people were sitting on each other's laps. You were doubling up in the passenger's front seat, which is not safe. And I know she asked, she was like, why not if you got all this money for all these shoes, again, we're talking about paying for what you want and not what you need. What you needed was a bigger vehicle to accommodate all of those people. A much bigger vehicle, probably like a Suburban if you're talking about 8 humans plus her. That'd be 9. He said she put them in the trunk. No, I would hope not. But you can see they shot at the trunk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 times. Maybe they were in the trunk. I don't know. That's a wild thing.
Someone fired more than 20 shots at the car. Daniels and 2 of his siblings were hit. The family had just left the barbershop when the gunfire began. It continued following Daniels as she made her way around the block and then crashed into a tree near the shop. The injured kids ran back into the barbershop and Diellon Daniels collapsed at Barber Braylon Canty's feet.
The little one that didn't make it, he was sitting right in front of me. I'm really holding him. I'm on the phone with the ambulance trying to, get some further instructions. And I laid them out. They told me not to have nothing on them. I'm really like with him the whole time. I didn't want to leave him. His mom, she was upset, crying. She asked me, "Is he gone?" I'm telling her no, like, you know, because I'm assuming like he's still showing signs of life. He's still kind of breathing. He still got a pulse or whatever. So I'm telling them, like, you know, he ain't got nothing to worry about.
Shout out to this young man. He is well spoken, very clear, very logical, very thoughtful. Shout out to him. I just thought I would mention that.
Then when I got the news, it crushed me immediately because I felt like I could have did more.
Canty says he hopes the killer or killers feel the weight of their actions.
Real men, or they have any type of remorse for a family or a mother, man, you shouldn't even feel like you should be out here on the streets living freely, knowing that you done took a baby away from their mother. You know what I'm saying? Right before the holidays. They come in here to get prepared to be with their family today on a holiday. Now they got to spend their days in the hospital, planning funerals and all that.
Canty says he wants everyone to feel safe when they come to the shop.
I want people to feel like they can be safe again. Might not be today, might not be next week, but I still want people to feel like they can come here and enjoy themselves and be safe and get fresh.
That's heartbreaking to listen to that. Seems like a young man with his heart in the right place. And just to have a situation like this, I'm pretty sure that would traumatize anybody. But again, to have the real story about what happened, I hate how the family won't actually tell you. And usually you have to do all of these crazy investigations just to figure out a motive. If you at least know the motive, these men are going to end up going to jail for a very long time as it is anyway. The least we can know is why. Was it over drugs? Was it over baby mama, baby daddy drama? Did she run off on the plug? Did she scam somebody like somebody said in the chat earlier? We at least need to know to tell people in the rest of the world as a cautionary tale why this happened and how to prevent this type of thing from happening. Maybe to change your life, maybe to not have this many kids and to have yourself in a situation to where you have to do such detrimental things in order just to make it by. When it comes to earning money or whatever it is, you're saying, well, I'd had to do what I had to do for all my kids. Well, it's that type of stuff that you have to think about after the first and after the second. And then you have to stop and say, if I have to do something crazy to take care of these kids, then maybe I shouldn't continue to keep producing them. Why am I wrong for saying that? I don't think I'm wrong for saying that. And I don't think I'm wrong enough to have my videos constantly taken down, scrutinized, demonetized, and just beaten the mush just for me trying to put out a message that all of us have to do better by our children. I think that's a very simple message. And I know a lot of times people think like, well, you go hard on black people. Well, here's the thing. I go hard on the thing that I care about the most, the thing that I know the most, and the thing that affects me the most, which is people that look like me. I would think that everybody would behave the same way. If people don't understand that, it's because they don't want to understand that. People don't want to understand why white people want to preserve themselves. People don't want to understand why I want to preserve my black self and my black family and my black community and ask us to stop being our own worst enemies. To Diellon, young prince, that could have grown up to become something very, very special. R.I.P. He has a lot of siblings, a lot of family members, and all you can do is just hope that they don't end up going down the same route and have bad stuff happen to them. So keep them in your prayers. As far as the mother, she knows the real story. Will she come out and speak up and say something? That's to be seen, but they wanted her dead. Change your life. This might be a good opportunity and a good reason to stop whatever you're doing and go a different direction.